So hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of our FM24 career mode here on the channel. Now if you didn't watch the opening episode, go back and watch that. We'll tell you how we sat managing Scunthorpe and go through all the squad and everything that was going on, but there's been a lot happening since those first 2 games in the league. Now let's get into it. As you can see on the left hand side, first and foremost, we are currently 5th in the league. We've not had a bad start to the season. We've won 4, lost 2. We went on a nice little run after beating Tamworth. If we have a look at the fixtures that we've played, we lost to Tamworth, then we went and beat Peterborough Sports. You saw that on the first episode. Then we went and beat Darlington and Rushall, kept 2 clean sheets, went to Curzon Ashton and beat them 2-1 in the last minute. Danny Whitehall getting a cracking goal to finish off. But then we've just gone back to Glanford Park and lost 1-0 to Scarborough Athletic, and it was an absolute thunderbolt, but nonetheless, we lost at home to Scarborough Athletic. So that meant that we're coming into this game with Alfreton on the back of a defeat. Now, it must be said, the striking situation is getting a little bit worrying because as soon as Whitehall or Elliott aren't fit to play, we're absolutely buggered. I'm doing my best to address that at this moment. We're scouting, we're looking at a lot of players. As you can see here, we've got a lot that we're looking at this moment in time, but it's important to get the right one. And speaking of right ones, you'll have noticed on the first episode, I spoke about Jacob Butterfield. Now, Jacob Butterfield started both the games in the first episode, but we did mention he played for Sheffield Wednesday, and we have had, I wouldn't say a falling out, I'd say we possibly had a couple of issues with Jacob Butterfield, and we are at the moment looking to get rid of him at this moment in time. He wanted to explore options at the end of his contract. He was in contract discussions. I don't know if they've ended. We'll check on that. But yeah, Jacob Butterfield is maybe going to be leaving the club. I'm not too upset about that. His performances in training have been dire since we got here. So it must be said, we've changed tactic a little bit, or changed players a little bit, because now it is Dean Rance who is really our commander in midfield, who is now the key point of this midfield three. And going into this Alfreton game, this is going to be the team that we start with. It's Fitzsimmons in goal, who's just about to be swapped to a sweeper keeper because he's very quick. Boyce, Coogan and Evans are the back three. Ogle at right back, Kelly at left back. Kelly's been playing particularly well at left wing back. Beeston, Rance and Cloonan in midfield. Captain Cloonan with Whitehall and Elliott up front. So much unchanged really. The only person that's really dropped out of favour is Jacob Butterfield. He's upset at the moment, but he doesn't really want to be... he wants to explore other options. Do I really want him in the team when he's got them sort of emotions and them sort of feelings at this moment in time? I'm not sure. We are going to say that we are favourites for a reason and try and get our guys to go and make the difference today, which they ultimately should against this Alfreton team. But Matty Lund in midfield. I actually managed Alfreton for a little bit on a previous FM, so nice to see if you were there, guys. But that's how we line up in the 5-3-2. Like I said, finding the right striker is the key point, but I would hope that we can respond to that defeat to Scarborough Athletic with a decent win here against Alfreton. And we do have the first highlight, and it's going to be Alfreton who clear it downfield. Soji picks it up for Alfreton. We're in our white and black away kit. Soji down our right hand side now. I'm going to say we've been defensively sound. We've been all right defensively. We've not been amazing, but we've been all right. Beeston now brings it away for us. We do tend to, when we go forward at times, we do look very dangerous. Elliott very much blows out on cold. He does tend to score some decent goals, but Whitehall I was worried about, because Whitehall I was pinning a lot of my hopes on. But in that game at Curzon Ashton, he was outstanding. And he's been outstanding again. Danny Whitehall gets our goal after 10 minutes. And that was a lovely move. And we are starting to play with a little bit more pizzazz than we possibly were doing. We can see a Cloonan into Ogle. Wing back getting forward. Playing a nice ball into Danny Whitehall. Takes a touch. You've got to be good to wear them boots, son. And he certainly is. It's a 1-0 to Scunthorpe. And just to have a little look at the instructions while we're just here, we are being a little bit more expressive and we are going for a slightly higher tempo now as well. So just to bring you up to date on that, we're just evolving the tactic, getting used to the different players. But after 15 minutes, we're beating Alfreton 1-0. And we do have a throw-in on our left-hand side. We whip it into the middle and it's Cloonan who strikes it. Willis nowhere near it. George Willis, formerly of Sheffield United. But we are all over Alfreton in these first 25 minutes. Expected goals looking good. And we're seeing a few green ratings pop up as well. We're getting used to this formation. 35 minutes gone. And we do have another highlight. Kelly in to Elliott. Back to Kelly again. He whips it in. Ogle's at the back stake. And Willis watches it float over the bar. But wing back to wing back. That's what we want to see. And Ogle again into Danny Whitehall. Back into Boyce. This is it. It's good controlled football. Evans takes a touch. We must have had a sale on red boots this week in Scunthorpe as Kelly tries to get past the Alfreton defender but doesn't quite manage it. And low Everton will come down our right-hand side, left-hand side, sorry. He skips past 2 players. Are we going to stop this man? Are we not? No, we are. Eventually from Fitzsimmons, who I've got to say looks a really bloody good goalkeeper as well. As Alfreton seems to have just picked up a little bit in this last couple of minutes. Low Everton down our left-hand side again. It's back to Cantrell. I thought he might strike that. He does it the second time of asking. And Fitzsimmons gets a good couple of hands on it and palms it away for a corner. He's telling him to sort of rush in on towards our goalkeeper. This kid looks a player. Low Everton as Rance heads it away very, very well. And Rance is a player that I'm really enjoying working with early doors in this save. He's a commander in midfield. He likes to bring the ball out of the back three as well, which is important to us. But as we come to the end of the half, it is Alfreton 0, Scunthorpe 1. We're okay with that. I wouldn't say I'm overly excited by it. Kelly's played really well, it must be said, as has Whitehall. But they did have a couple of little chances, but looking at the left-hand side, we're totally dominating. And we do have a throw-in early in this second half, which goes into Elliott. That's crossed in. Kelly, our other wing-back on the left-hand side, takes a touch, plays it back into Evans. He's not going to shoot, surely he doesn't. It goes back to Kelly, who takes a touch, right, whips in with his right foot. Willie spills it, and there is Michael Clunan. It's Alfreton 0, it's Scunthorpe 2. And George Willis, my friend, I must admit, from seeing George Willis live, not the biggest goalkeeper in the world when he were at Sheffield United. I don't think he's had a growth spurt, and that he's learned that off of Steve Simonson probably. That is a very disappointing bit of goalkeeping from the former Sheffield United man. And look at this now, we are playing out of the back with confidence. This is the first time we've really seen this as we go into Ogle down the right-hand side. And I had to say it, didn't I? We're playing out of the bike with confidence as Alfreton lash it over. It's a good job there, not clinical. Rance, corner to Scunthorpe, whipped in, right-footed. Willie heads it away. Rance puts it back in. Whitehall can't quite get there. Elliott's on the edge of the box. Strikes it left-footed. It's into the side netting. And Alfreton survive another Scunthorpe attack. We're on an XG of 2.07 at this moment in time. And this might be a good time as we head up towards the 75 minute, just to make a couple of changes. We're going to bring on off Danny Elliott, bring on Harrison Poulter. Kian can come on for Clunan, I would suggest. And I think we'll bring on Finlay Shrimpton as well. Finlay Shrimpton is working his way into my plans because he's a young man, is Finlay Shrimpton. If we just click on him, 21 years of age, but my God, is he a good trainer. He's getting the highest ratings consistently in training sessions, and I'm enjoying working with him. He's a player that I'm hoping is going to have a decent future with us. You never know. Obviously, once you start climbing the leagues, we never know what's going to happen, but Kelly's going to head that away well as Shrimpton does very well to clear that away, and it's up to Poulter now. Can he get this pass away to Whitehall? He can. Ogle will pick it up. He knocks it long, and Willie will tap that into Soji, but Shrimpton does very well. Is he going to strike it here? He is, and George Willis gets a very good save on it, but this is what I'm saying. Shrimpton, it's almost as though sometimes I might just know what I'm talking about, as Shrimpton gets a decent strike on goal. Willis saves it well as we have another corner which Evans can't quite get to, and Ogle will pick up on the right hand side into Boyce. It's a nice touch from the centre half, back to Ogle now. Coogan even Maxime at centre half, and as we tick into the final couple of moments, that is going to be a very, very convincing win that for us. I mean, we've dominated there, and fair play to you boys. I weren't overly impressed with the first half performance, but I'm very impressed with the second. We go up to 4th in the league with 3 points off top of the league. Tamworth, bear that in mind, because we lost to Tamworth, we've lost to Scarborough Athletic. They're the only 2 teams we've lost to, and they're both in the top 7 with us. And next up, we have got South Shields at Glanford Park, so we'll see you in 3 days' time. But just before we go into the next game, I just want to bring you up to date on a couple of loans that we are trying to get in. First one is Bailey Ty Cadamartri, now living in Sheffield. This kid is quite highly rated across the city, so it made sense to have a look at him. We may be able to get him in on loan without paying any of his wages. Not the easiest club to deal with, Sheffield Wednesday, when negotiating the loan, but there's a couple of other clubs in for him as well, Torquay and Brackley, but I'm hoping our stature is going to allow us to get in Cadamartri on loan. If not, or maybe as well as, Kylian Kouasse from Bristol City, 6'2", he's as strong as an ox, is this lad, target forward. This kid could be a real signing for us if we could get him in. So 18 and 20-year-old players coming into the club on loan just to help us in that striking department where I feel we are at its weakest possibly in terms of squad depth. But the team for this next game, there's just going to be one change. It's Fitzsimmons in goal again. The back three remains unchanged. Shrimpton is going to come in for Alfie Beeston. Andy Butler's on the bench, by the way, as well. He is the player coach, but I've got him on the bench because if I need to see some attack, he would be the man that I'd want to bring on. Whitehall and Elliott stay up front because, of course, we've not too many options at this moment in time. So that is going to be the team for this next game against South Shield. So let's have a little look. As you see, there's a few smiley faces now in terms of the matchday squad as well. So everybody's a little bit okay, which we're glad to see. Just having a look if there's any about Julio Arca manages South Shields. James Hammond, Josh Doherty, Tom Broadbent. Is there anybody else we recognise in there? Gary Liddell. That can't be the Gary Liddell, can it? We'll pick up where you left off. I'm going to have to check this. Is that... No, I'm thinking of Andy Liddell. Forgive me, I'm thinking of Andy Liddell, who used to play on the right wing, played for Sheffield United. So yeah, I'm going to say he must be far too old to be playing at a decent standard of football at this age. He must be... I wonder how old Andy Liddell is now. Anyway, Elliott into Evans. We're starting the game positive again into Coogan. In to Whitehall. There's an opening on that right-hand side, which we chose not to use. But Boyce now has Ogle down the right. It's a good tackle by Fisher, but Ogle does manage to hold on to it. There is Clunan. Now Boyce. Back in to Ogle again. Down the right-hand side. Back into Clunan. Is there going to be a cross here? There certainly is. Whitehall misses it, but Elliott doesn't. It's Scunthorpe 1, South Shield 0. And that is a decent goal from us there. We're starting to see what this tactic can do. Ogle down the right-hand side. Let's have a little look. It's a good cross from Ogle. Into Clunan. It's a good cross from Clunan, I should say. Whitehall actually misses it. It possibly would have been a penalty if Elliott wasn't there to tap it in. But tap it in he did. And after 15 minutes, Scunthorpe are 1-0 up. And another highlight straight away, 18 minutes. We're into Clunan again, and Ogle is getting all sorts of space down this right-hand side. It's a tackle by Fisher. Is that a penalty? I would suggest he might have got the ball, but it's going to be Elliott, I believe, to step up and take this first penalty of the season for Elliott. Is he going to manage to pop it in? Certainly is. Bottom left-hand corner. Maybe Danny Elliott has heard on the grapevine that there's a couple of young pretenders coming in, and he needs to book his ideas up a little bit. But that is a decent start to this game. 20 minutes gone, 2-0 up. Easy. Corner again, Rance whips it in. Evans nearly gets there. It's back out to Shrimpton. Ogle nods it down. Boyce is in. It's 3-0 before half-time. And this has been a very good first-half performance from the Irons. And we don't look like we're actually overly enjoying it that much. As Boyce, Evans possibly could have got his head on it. It's Shrimpton again. It's a nice little knock from Ogle. Boyce manages to get between two South Shields defenders and just gives a little applause to the Scunthorpe fans. 3-0, 42 minutes gone, and we've got another highlight straight from the kickoff. I'm wondering if we're going to get another goal here. Evans goes into Rance and Coogan, and this may be a good time for us to rest some players, is what I'm thinking in the back of my head now, because Kelly's going to have a touch on the left-hand side. He's going to go into Clunan again. He's going to take a touch back to Evans. It's controlled football from Scunthorpe at this moment in time. Coogan goes into Rance. Ball out to the right-hand side and Ogle. He's got Whitehall and Elliott in the middle. Clunan's picking up some lovely positions in that inside right channel. It's through to Whitehall. It's 4. It's 4-0 to Scunthorpe within 43 minutes. And yes, We know we're one of the better teams in the league, but my God, we have demolished these lads. Clunan tried a similar pass to what he did earlier. Boyce goes into Whitehall, and Whitehall, no mistake, top right-hand corner. Scunthorpe 4, South Shields 0, and we're continuing with the highlights as it goes into Doherty and Hammond in the middle. But our boys look fired up for this one, and this is a perfect opportunity to rest some players. I think we're going to bring Andy Butler on at half-time. As Rowe goes to the back stick, Fisher heads it, and we concede. It's 4-1. I mean, it's a good header from Fisher. Have we just switched off a little bit there? Maybe. Yeah, that's disappointing. Rowe, it's a decent cross. It goes over everybody. It's a header. He beats Ogle, I think that is, at the back stick. Fitzsimmons can't quite get there. 4-1. We've lost this clean sheet. But, I mean, I can't be too disappointed with that. But I think we are just going to make the single change at half times. I think we're going to bring Coonan off, who's looking complacent. Andy Butler is looking a little bit complacent as well. And I would like, if we go back to the dressing room, if we go to individuals, I want to see a good performance from Andy Butler, because as a coach as well, remember he's a player coach, I would expect him to be calming these boys down, because yes, we've just blown them away for 45 minutes, but we need to just keep it a little bit calm as Kelly has the ball on the left-hand side into Evans now, back into Andy Butler, now Boyce. Down to the right-hand side and Ogle. We're getting acres of room down this side. Ogle crosses in. And unfortunately, we can't do much with it as Manning wallops it downfield to James Taylor. Andy Butler hasn't got the pace. And James Taylor makes it 4-2. And have we got problems here? That is very concerning. 54 minutes gone. 4-2. We saw it. Andy Butler, possible little bit of pace. Not quite covering him in glory there. And with 55 minutes gone, maybe we've got to be aware. But we do have a corner straight away. Butler crosses in and Evans gets the goal. It's 5-2 to Scunthorpe. My word. Do you know when you pick these games out for the videos? It's been a while, like I said. We've not been on the FM content. But that's Butler's in there. Evans gets the header on it. It's 5-2. And I was just thinking, I'm just going to drop us down out of possession just to a standard defensive line. And just slow the tempo down a little bit. We don't need now to be really going for it. 5-2, I'll take this all day long. As South Shields have another highlight now. It's Evans. Motley Henry back into Briggs. Briggs strikes it. Bottom right-hand corner. Robert Briggs has scored. It's 5-3. Scunthorpe 5. South Shields 3. This is a crazy game of football. And I'm a little bit disappointed with Fitzsimmons there, if I'm completely honest. Let's just have a little look at this. Motley Henry goes back into Briggs, strikes it. Who is that? Boyce. What's all that about? Not impressed with that. But 63 minutes on the clock. There's another highlight, and it's Andrucci. If we lose this or don't win this, there is going to be hell to pay in this dressing room. As Hammond strikes it, it just goes wide. And we're just going to go a little bit cautious here. Take off the more expressive. I'm getting a little bit concerned that we're letting these back into this game, and I really don't want to be. Another corner. South Shields. Are they going to make this incredibly tight towards the end of this game? It's headed away well. James Taylor gets it back into Doherty. There's more defending to do, and it's 5-4. Oh my word. What on earth is going on here? We took off Coonan. I did not see this having this effect, and it's another highlight. Are we possibly going to lose a game which we were 4-0 up in? It's Motley Henry. It's flashed across goal and changes are inbound because we're going to bring on Alfie Beeston. We're also going to bring on... I was thinking Tyler Denton maybe. We're going to bring on Tyler Denton as well. And we're just going to swap this round. Butler's going to go to the right-hand side of the back four. Not the covering defender. Just to give us that little bit of added pace. But I'm hoping, I'm even getting that nervous. We're going to switch a little bit of time wasting on. We've got 3 minutes to negotiate. And we do have a highlight. It's Elliott back in to Evans. Goes back into Denton. If we could get a sixth, that would be ideal. It's into Elliott, down the left-hand side, back to Whitehall. It's offside. We've got 2 minutes to negotiate. I can't believe I'm saying this. We get to 95 minutes. And we've won it. My word. Now, you can talk about that, but that was a real Jekyll and Hyde performance. And I've got to say at times, I'm going to talk to some individuals here that appeared unhappy. Try and just tell them they were all right. But that second half performance, in my opinion, let me know down in the comments. That's unacceptable from us. But we are now on 18 points, so we've finished the episode. Let's get the full league table up. We are currently sat in third position. We are 3 points behind Tamworth, who have only lost 1 game all season. Buxton in second. We are in third. South Shields are in fourth. So they weren't a bad side, South Shields. Must be said. Southport, Chester and Spennymoor make up the playoffs. Boston having a torrid time at the start of this season. If we have a look at the schedule where we're going to be coming back, we've got Buxton and we've got this qualifying round. We'll probably come back maybe towards the end of October, I would suggest. Maybe around the Blythe game, unless we get anybody big sort of in the FA Cup rounds. But yeah, we'll aim for the end of October. And that is episode 2 done and dusted. I hope you've enjoyed that. Please do like and subscribe. It does help the videos and the playlist and the channel massively. And we will see you on the next one. Ta-ra.